Welcome to the channel, Guardians. I'm your lovely host, Paid to Be Famous, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the 3 best sidearms that came with the Season of Dawn DLC, and in my opinion, are some of the best sidearms in the game right now. I'm going to go over how to get the sidearms, going to go over the perks and the stats that come on them, and I'm going to be going over the god rolls for each one. Now keep in mind, these are just my opinions, so if you disagree or feel like I left a sidearm off the list that should be on this video, let me know about it down in the comments. Now with that being said, let's get into this. Now starting off this list, we have the Traveler's Judgment 5 Legendary Energy Sidearm. If you guys would like this sidearm for yourself, you guys are going to have to head on over to Nessus and upgrade the obelisk over there. Once you upgrade it enough, you'll be able to pick up the time loss bounties, and you'll be able to link this obelisk to the sundial. So that way when you complete runs on the sundial, you can choose this as your end reward. Or if you guys upgrade the obelisk at the tower, you can also go pick up the bounties for this sidearm over there at the tower. Now let's take a look at the stats. This is an adaptive frame sidearm, well-rounded, reliable. So it's kind of like a pulse rifle with a lot less range, obviously. Has an impact of 75, range of 45, stability 84, handling 56, reload speed at 40, got an aim assist at 70, zoom at 12, and the recoil direction is at 89. Now keep in mind that these are just the base stats. This does not take into account any perks that you may have on yours. Now speaking of perks, let's take a look at what comes on the Traveler's Judgment. Now for all these sidearms that we're going to be going over, for the first 2 columns, you're going to want anything that increases your range. In my opinion, range is really important on a sidearm. Going to help with that damage fall off. So any one of the sights that increases your range, that's the one you want to go with. And in the second column, the same goes for that. You're going to want to spec this out for range. And in the second column for the Traveler's Judgment, your options for that are high caliber rounds. Shots from this weapon knock the target back farther, and it slightly increases your range, gives you a +5. Then we also have in the second column ricochet rounds. Rounds ricochet off hard surfaces. This increases the stability and slightly increases the range. Going to give you a +5 to range and a +10 to your stability. Then we also have armor piercing rounds. Rounds cause extra damage to combatants' shields and over-penetrate targets. It slightly increases your range, gives you a +5 in range. So any 3 of these would do: high cal, ricochet, or armor piercing. But in my opinion, I do think that ricochet rounds is the best. Now in the third column, you have rapid hit, feeding frenzy, auto-loading holster, firmly planted, hipfire grip, and field prep. Now in my opinion, you guys are going to need a reload perk in this third column, and fortunately for us, the Traveler's Judgment comes with 2 of the most top tier reload perks in the game. We're talking about rapid hit and feeding frenzy. The rapid hit states that rapid precision hits temporarily increase stability and the reload speed. Feeding frenzy states that kills with this weapon increase reload speed for a short time. Now if you guys tend to go for those headshots, go ahead and go with rapid hit. But if you guys don't aim for the head a lot, then feeding frenzy is going to be your best friend, because even getting a kill with just body shots, feeding frenzy is going to give you that increased reload, and rapid hit, you're going to have to land those headshots if you want to benefit from this perk. In my opinion, I do think rapid hit has the upper hand here, because not only does it increase the reload speed, it also increases the stability, which is going to make it easier to land more headshots. So rapid hit or feeding frenzy is what you want in the third column. All the other perks are kind of just meh. Now for the fourth column, we have surrounded, disruption break, dragonfly, tap the trigger, head seeker, and shield disorient. Unfortunately, this sidearm doesn't come with your normal damage dealing perks like rampage, multi-kill clip, or regular kill clip. If you're somebody who really likes those damage dealing perks, your only option is surrounded. This weapon gains bonus damage when 3 or more enemies are in close proximity. So in my opinion, yes, this is a damage dealing perk, but in PvP, if you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies, you are most likely going to die. So my suggestion for you guys in this last column would be tap the trigger. Tap the trigger states that it grants a short period of increased stability and accuracy on the initial trigger pull. Now, since this is a burst sidearm and you're going to be continuously pulling the trigger, Tap the trigger is pretty much active on every single shot that you take. So you're going to have increased accuracy and stability. And if you guys went with rapid hit in the other column, it increases your stability over there. So you're going to have a really stable sidearm if you're pairing rapid hit with tap the trigger. So once again, if you guys need that damage dealing perk, go with surrounded. If you guys want to be super accurate and land your shots in the crucible, go with tap the trigger. And if you're using this for PvE, dragonfly is actually a really good trait to have to clear those low level adds. Dragonfly states that precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. And if you have a dragonfly spec, the explosion deals more damage and has a wider radius. So clearing those red bars is really easy to do with dragonfly. So just to go over things again, in my opinion, if you guys are looking for the god roll, you need a sight that increases your range. You're going to need either high cal, ricochet, or armor piercing to increase the range for your magazine perks. And then you're going to want rapid hit in the third column and tap the trigger in the fourth column to ensure that you have a super stable, super accurate sidearm for the crucible. And that is my opinion and suggestion for the god roll on the Traveler's Judgment. Let me know what you guys think about this sidearm down in the comments, and let's move on to our next contender. For our next contender for the sidearm, we have the Breechlight Legendary Kinetic Sidearm. If you guys would like to obtain this sidearm for yourself, head on over to the Tangled Shore obelisk, and once you upgrade it enough, you'll be able to link it to the sundial, and you'll actually be able to buy bounties from the Tangled Shore obelisk. And when you complete sundial runs, you can choose this at the end. And like the other one, of course, if you have the tower obelisk upgraded, you can go pick up bounties from the tower as well for this sidearm. Now let's go over the stats. This has an impact of 55, a range of 53, stability 43, handling 41, reload speed 31, aim assistance of 82, zoom of 12, and a recoil direction of 82. Now, if we look at the perks that come on this sidearm, you're going to have barrel options to choose from in the first column. And like I said before, you guys are going to want to get as much range as you can to help combat the damage fall off. So your best options in the first column is hammerforged rifling. It increases the range by 10. You also have extended barrel, increases the range, but it decreases handling speed, and it moderately controls the recoil, so that is a plus 10 to range, plus 10 to recoil, but it is a negative 10 in your handling. And then for the third option for the barrels, you have full bore, which gives you the most range at a plus 15, but it is a negative 5 to your handling and a negative 10 to your stability. Then for the magazine perks, there is only really one option that you want to go for, and that is accurized rounds. This weapon can fire longer distances. It's going to add another 10 range to the sidearm. And all the other perks are kind of just meh, in my opinion. So accurized, go for that one. Then in the third column, we have a couple of good perks in this one. We have Demolitionist, which kills with this weapon generate grenade energy. Activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon from reserves. If you guys really like your grenades, if you're running a grenade build, Demolitionist is a really good option. Then we also have Outlaw. Precision kills greatly decrease the reload time. It's really good for getting you those fast reloads. Then we have Underdog, which I wouldn't really recommend because this perk only activates when you're weak. And if you're that weak in the Crucible, you're pretty much one shot and you're going to be dead anyways. So Underdog is a throwaway perk for me. And we have Under Pressure, improves stability and accuracy as the magazine gets lower. This is a decent perk, but it only activates when you get to the bottom half of your magazine. Then we have Threat Detector, increased reload, stability, and handling when enemies are in close proximity. This is actually a really good perk for a sidearm since you're going to almost always be in close proximity when you're getting in those sidearm fights. And it's about a 15-meter radius for Threat Detector to proc, which is a pretty good distance. So like I said, if you're being smart about your engagements and you're already close up, Threat Detector should be active all the time. And then for the last perk in the third column, we have Hipfire Grip. If you guys do a lot of hipfire, then this is a perk for you. But if you don't, then I wouldn't bother with it. So once again, for the third column, Demolitionist, Outlaw, and Threat Detector are your guys' best options in my opinion. Then in the last column, we have Vorpal Weapon. This is a new perk that came with Season of Dawn. It does increased damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians in their super. Now, damaging bosses and vehicles, that's for PvE, and damaging guardians in their super is for PvP. And if you're wondering how much more damage it does to guardians in their super, it's around a 50% increase depending on which super you're going against, because all the different supers in the game have different damage resistance numbers, but it's on average about 50%. And if you're in the Crucible PvP a lot, everybody in the game pops at least 2 supers a game, and it's going to be really easy to take them down if you got Vorpal Weapon on your sidearm. Now below that we have Quick Draw. This weapon can be drawn unbelievably fast, which for PvP, this actually comes in handy a lot. When you're in those gunfights and someone pushes you unexpectedly, you can pull out your sidearm really quick and gun them down. The Quick Draw is also a very good option. Then below that we have Multi-Kill Clip. Reloading grants increased damage based on the number of rapid kills made beforehand. Now this is a top tier perk in this 4th column here because it works really well in PvP, and it works even better in PvE because getting 3 kills back to back in PvE activities, really easy to do. Going to give you a big damage increase, and you can actually take down yellow bars really quick when you get that multi-kill clip ×3. Then below that we have Osmosis. Using your grenade ability changes this weapon's damage type to match your subclass until you stow it. This is more of a PvE perk. Then we have Elemental Capacitor. Increases stats based on your currently equipped subclass. For Solar, it increases reload. For Arc, it increases handling. For Void, it increases stability. I'm not really too much of a fan of this perk, so I really can't recommend it. Then down here at the bottom we have Rampage. Everybody knows this perk. Kills with this weapon temporarily grant increased damage, and it stacks 3 times. Rampage is going to increase your damage and lower your TTK and help you kill guardians a lot faster in the Crucible. So in this 4th column, in my opinion, Vorpal Weapon, Multi-Kill Clip, Rampage are what you guys are going to want to go for. Make this very lethal against other guardians in the Crucible. And with that being said, let's get into our number 1 spot. Alright guardians, last up we have the infamous Last Hope Legendary Energy Sidearm. This is an adaptive frame sidearm, well-rounded, reliable, fires a 3-round burst just like the Traveler's Judgement. Now where the heck do you get this thing from? This is just a random drop from legendary engrams. So just by playing the game, receiving legendaries, you have a chance to get this to drop for you. Or if you're impatient like me, you can head on over to Rahul, the Cryptarch in the tower. And if you scroll on over to his 2nd page, you can buy legendary engrams from him. And this has a chance to drop out of there. Keep in mind, the weapon loot pool is very big. There's armor in there as well as a lot of other weapons. Now let's go over these stats. This has an impact of 75, range of 41, stability 82, handling 55, reload speed 37, aim assistance 70, a zoom of 12, and a recoil direction of 93, which is the highest recoil direction out of all these sidearms that we've gone over so far. Now let's get into the perks that come with this Last Hope sidearm. In the 1st column, you have a bunch of sights that you can choose from. Once again, choose a sight that gives you the most range. Then in the 2nd column for the magazine perks, once again, we have high cal, ricochet rounds, or armor piercing. I would highly suggest ricochet rounds just because it increases range and stability, as opposed to high cal rounds just increases the range. Then in the 3rd column, we have Feeding Frenzy, Quick Draw, Grave Robber, Rangefinder, Field Prep, and Firmly Planted. Then for the 4th column, we actually have a lot of options depending on your playstyle that you guys like. Now, Multi-Kill Clip, first off, one of the best damage dealing perks in the game. Like I said, it's really easy to proc it ×3 in PvE, not so much in PvP, but even getting 1 stack of multi-kill clip in PvP is going to make this thing much more deadlier. Then we have Dragonfly. Precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. Really good for PvE, especially when you slap a Dragonfly spec on it. Then we have Rampage. Kills with this weapon temporarily grant increased damage. It stacks 3 times. Then we also have Zen Moment down here. Causing damage with this weapon increases stability. I really like this perk, but on this weapon, It's already super stable. I don't think Zen Moment is really necessary. And then we also have Tap the Trigger in the 4th column, grants a short period of increased stability and accuracy on the initial trigger pull. And then the last perk, Hipfire Grip, I wouldn't really worry too much about that. So to go over the God roll, in my opinion, it would be a sight that increases your range, ricochet rounds, Feeding Frenzy paired with multi-kill clip would be the God roll. And those are my choices and opinions on the best Season of Dawn sidearms. Let me know what you guys think about these sidearms. Which ones are your favorite? Which ones are you having the most fun with right now? Let me know down in the comments. And with that being said, what are you guys still doing here? Go out and get yourself a God roll sidearm. Because believe it or not, we in a sidearm meta, baby. That's going to do it for me. I'm Paid to Be Famous. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.